Do you learn how to kill?
You learn how to kill in two different ways. And again, the two ways that you learn how to kill have to do with the level of training that you receive. The first is called a non-intimate killing. Non-intimate death means you're not present for the killing. Imagine a drone dropping a bomb, or you setting a bomb and walking away, or sabotaging someone's car to explode, or dropping poison in a pill. Those are non-intimate killings. The person will die, but when they die, you're not there.
Okay.
Intimate killing takes more training, more experience, and that's more what you see paramilitary officers do, where they are holding the knife when they stab the person, when they cut their throat, when they hang them, when they shoot them, etc. Right? That's a very intimate version of killing. You need people to learn non-intimate killing first to sensitize them to the process of taking someone's life. You can't throw somebody into intimate killing and not expect them to have some kind of trauma. Even in the military, you see this in the United States, where they will show troops footage of combat, and then they will show troops footage of intimate killing, right? This person shoots that person. They'll show them body disposal. They'll show them surgery. They'll show them all sorts of blood and guts and violence to get them sensitized to what they will have to do when they're on the battlefield. And they do that in a way to prevent against post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD.
How did you get desensitized?
So first, they started my career very much without killing. I didn't have to hurt anybody. And you travel the world, and what happens when you travel the world is you see how dangerous the world is. So I didn't have to hurt anybody, but you can see people hurting each other when you travel the world. When you go to China, when you go to India, when you go to Afghanistan or Vietnam or Cambodia, when you travel to Mexico, when you travel through Chile, you'll see pain. You'll see people with incredible infections on the street. You'll see dead bodies in the street. You'll see, people poisoned and defecating or vomiting. Like, you see terrible things that don't exist in the average American experience. And as you see those things over time, you start to build up a tolerance for the fact that human beings are just animals. That's the first step to being able to kill someone. Not seeing them as a person, seeing them as an animal, just a creature, just a biological mass, not any different than a wolf or a coyote, a bird or a deer. That was kind of the first step for me. And then after I could start seeing people as animals, then we started identifying that some animals keep you safe and some animals cause you harm. Right? And during my time especially, there was a focus on extremism, specifically Islamic extremists. And terrorists intend to do harm. They're animals that do harm. And the West, Americans and French and Canadians and British, we're animals that try to keep things peaceful. So what does a peaceful animal do to keep a harmful animal away? It hurts the harmful animal. So that's how I started getting migrated into more operations that were offensive in nature, not just intelligence collection in nature. And I started working in covert action and joint operations. And then we started building and planning operations that would use joint military equipment to execute operations against terrorist strongholds and terrorist organizations. And now when you see that you have a drone in the sky and you see the heat signatures of people on the ground, and then you give the order to fire the Hellfire missile or fire whatever bomb is being dropped, you see an explosion. It's a giant ball of red and blue and orange. And then it goes away and all those little heat signatures have stopped moving. And then you see more heat signatures move in because the military moves in to verify that everybody's been killed. And then thumbs up, mission success. And you give each other high fives and you move on to the next target. That's a non-intimate killing. But it's very hard to go from college to dropping bombs on people. So they have to walk you through a process.
What's the most brutal training you underwent?
The hardest training for me was cold exposure. And a lot of cold exposure training is married with first responder or field medic training. Because when you expose somebody to cold for long periods of time, their body starts to react. And it's a perfect opportunity for you to also practice medical triage. When do they need fluids? When do they need covered? When do they need to stop the exercise? And I'm not a very big guy, so I get cold very quickly. And when I get cold, my whole body wants to stop working. My brain wants to stop thinking. My body wants to start shivering. I can't I can't keep my hands still. And going through that training was brutal. It was very difficult.
What was the training like?
I remember being there with other people who were unfazed by the cold. I've met people who can feel the cold, but they can mentally ignore it. And it's just incredible. And you see how different everybody is. And I think the reason that I'm calling it brutal for me is because it showed me how weak I was in one specific area. And that's a humiliating feeling to discover how bad you are.
थैंक यू सो मच ये क्लिप एंड तक देखने के लिए. अगर आपको और भी ऐसी क्लिप्स देखनी है तो राज शमानी क्लिप्स चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए.